Happy morning, people. So let's continue our discussion in the marathon series. So now we'll be starting with accounting standard 16 that talks about borrowing cost. Very simple standard. Borrowing cost simply means cost associated with the borrowing. When you borrow the money in the form of debentures or bank loan, what cost or what expense will the company incur? Interest. So there's interest charges, and normally when bank processes your loan, they charge something called processing charges. So those interest charges and processing charges are referred to as borrowing over here. So what should be done for that borrowing charges or borrowing cost is what the guidance AS16 is trying to give. That's all as a scope. So normally what we used to do for interest charges and all, transfer it to P&L. What AS16 says is, if borrowing cost, if it is related to qualifying asset, don't transfer it to P&L, but rather add it to the cost of the asset itself. Meaning capitalize that borrowing cost to asset cost. If borrowing cost, if it is related to any other factors, like if it is not relating to qualifying asset, then you will transfer it to P&L. So basically, qualifying asset related borrowing cost you will capitalize, other borrowing cost you will transfer it to P&L. That's all is the overall summary of AS16. Now the next question will arise, what is a qualifying asset? Qualifying asset simply means those assets which take substantial period of time to get ready. They are not immediately ready, they will take some time to get ready. Like when you are constructing a building, will the building will it be immediately ready or it will take some time? Let's say we are constructing a building and it will take 3 years for the construction to get completed. Today, is it ready or after 3 years? After 3 years. That means that building will be known as what, sir? Qualifying asset. Because it is not immediately ready, it is getting ready after 3 years. Now this iPad, is it a qualifying asset? Is it taking time to get ready or already ready? Already ready. The asset which is already ready to use, they are not qualifying asset. Qualifying, all of you, if you want, there's some disturbance, you can come front. Okay? If, again, qualifying asset means what? They take some time to get ready to use. Okay? That's the meaning of it. Sir, how much time, sir? AS16 says, if an asset is taking 12 months or more, to get ready to use, then automatically it will become what? Qualifying asset. Any asset which takes 12 months or more to get ready is a qualifying asset. And such qualifying asset ka borrowing cost you will not transfer it to P&L but capitalize. Meaning for, let's say you are constructing a building now, how many years it's going to take? 3 years. For constructing building you need dabbu, money, paisa, correct? Suppose you took a bank loan to fund that construction. To construct this building, we took a bank loan. On that bank loan, you'll have to pay interest, right? Why did you take a bank loan? For constructing a building. Yes, no? So hence this interest cost now, is this building a qualifying asset? Yes. So this interest on loan, you will not transfer it to P&L, but rather add it to the cost of building itself. Because in a way, it becomes a DAC. In a way, it becomes a DAC. You remember DAC we studied in AS10? What is a DAC? Those costs incurred to make the asset ready to use, right? So this, since this loan is specifically taken to construct this building, that loan ka interest cost also you add it to the cost of building. That's the fundamental. It's just an extension concept. Done, Naji? Okay, Naji. Suppose I take a loan to buy a laptop. I've taken a loan to buy a laptop. On loan, I have to pay what? Interest. That loan ka interest, will you add it to the cost of laptop? No. Why? Is laptop a qualifying asset or not a qualifying asset? My laptop is already ready to use. Is it a qualifying asset? No. Then this interest charges will be transferred where? P&L. That's the overall fund. Okay, G. Okay, moving along. Sir, what are the examples of qualifying assets, sir? Property, plant and equipment can be a qualifying asset. Like building under construction, machinery under construction, etc., etc. PPE can be qualifying asset. Your intangible asset can also be a qualifying asset. You have studied intangible assets under development. You remember development phase expenditure. For that, if you are taking a loan, development can take a lot of time also. So even an intangible asset can be what? Qualifying asset. Inventory also can be qualifying asset. Sorry, inventory don't take such time, no sir. Suppose I am a ship manufacturer. What is my business? I manufacture ship and I sell them. I mean, for a ship manufacturer, ship is not PP, it is what? Inventory. Can ship be manufactured in 1 day, 1 month, or it may take a lot of time? It may take more than 1 year. Possible if it's a big ship, right? It may take 1 year, 2 year also, right? So inventory also can be a qualifying asset depending on case to case. Fine. But your debt or investment and all are not qualifying asset, because will they take time to get ready or already ready? Already ready. Hence, these are not qualifying assets. Done. All right. Now, people, when it comes to borrowing means here the loan, right? As far as AS16 is concerned, the borrowing are of two types: general borrowing, specific borrowing. Name itself is saying specific borrowing. Specific borrowing means for what purpose that loan is taken. I'm just using the word loan, okay? Even debenture is also a borrowing. For simplicity purpose, for better connect, I'm using the word loan, right? If you have taken a loan, and for what purpose that loan is utilized, if you are able to identify. What did I say? You have taken a loan. For what purpose you have utilized that loan, if you are able to clearly identify, we call such loan as what? Specific borrowing. If you are able to find out its utilization clearly, then it is a specific borrowing. Like let's say I took a loan of 10 lakh. 7 lakh loan I used to construct plant and machinery number 1. 3 lakh I used for constructing a building. Is it okay? I've taken a 10 lakh loan. Of that 10 lakh, 7 lakh I've used to construct a plant and machinery. 3 lakh I've used for building construction. What sort of a borrowing is this 10 lakh? General borrowing or specific borrowing? Specific borrowing. Specific borrowing does not mean one loan, one purpose. No. Specific borrowing means you have taken a borrowing, and for what and all purpose you have utilized it, you are able to identify. It could be one loan used for 4 purpose also, doesn't matter. If you are able to clearly identify the purpose, then it automatically becomes what, sir? Specific borrowing. Done, Ji? Okay. Now, with respect to specific borrowing, there is no headache. Why no headache? Because you have multiple loan or only one loan? One loan. Sir, suppose this loan carries an interest rate of 9%. This loan carries an interest rate of 9%. That means what, sir? 10 lakh ka 9% is how much? 90,000. Clear? Yes. So what do? This 90,000, whatever loan, or maybe let's take this example for simplicity. You have taken a 10% loan to construct a building for how much? 50 lakh rupees. How much interest you will have to pay on this loan? 50 lakh ka 10%. How much is that, people? 5 lakh. Correct? This 5 lakh, will you transfer it to P&L or you will add it to the cost of building? You'll add it to the cost of building. So because this building is not ready to use, you are still constructing. So hence it is what? This building is what now? Qualifying asset. Yes, sir. So straight away this 5 lakh will get added to the cost of building. Comfortable? But there is one more provision here in specific borrowing. What AS16 says is, boss, this interest cost you add, it's fine. Interest cost you add. But hang on. Sir, when you take a loan of 50 lakh, entire 50 lakh will get utilized immediately or in stages. See, if you have taken a loan for 50 lakh rupees, entire 50 lakh will not get spent on building immediately, right? Maybe 10 lakh you need immediately. Balance 10 lakh you may need after 3 months. Another 30 lakh you may need after 1 year. Like this, yes or no? When you construct a building, expenditure will come immediately or in phases. In phases, yes. Now, will anybody keep the money idle? Suppose we utilized only 10 lakh now. That means how much money is still there with us? 40 lakh. Will company keep the money idle as cash or they will invest? They will buy some temporary investment, some government security or some fixed deposit we will put in the money so that we will earn some what? Interest income. Yes or no? So what AS16 says is, if there is any specific borrowing, and if you have earned any temporary investment income out of it, if you have earned any temporary investment income out of it, that you'll have to reduce it. It will be given to you in the question. Like in this problem, let's say 40 lakh rupees money you invested. 40 lakh rupees money you invested. How many ever months? How much interest did you earn out of it? 50,000. What standard says is, do not add 5 lakh to the cost of building. From this, net off your temporary investment income, and how much remains? 4 lakh 50. Only 450 of the borrowing cost should be capitalized. If this may be there in question, it may not be there. If it is there, do not forget it. Okay. All right. Any doubt in this so far? All okay? Paka? Okay. This is the aspect relating to what? Specific borrowing. There is another kind of borrowing, which is what? General borrowing. General borrowing means khichdi, chow baat. Meaning multiple loans, multiple purpose. For what purpose the loan is utilized, you are able to identify or not able to identify. Not able to identify. Okay. If you have multiple loans used for multiple purpose, and the purpose of utilization, if you are not able to identify such a borrowing, we call it as what, sir? General borrowing. Now, general borrowing, there will be a slight problem. What problem? Look at this example. Sir, I am constructing a building. So, is building my qualifying asset? Yeah, let's say construction period is 2 years. Construction period is 2 years. So, is building a qualifying asset? Yes. How much I need for building construction? 50 lakh. Now, people, I have taken 3 loans. 10% bank loan for how much value? 20 lakh. 12% debentures for how much value? 40 lakh. 11% bank loan for how much value? 30 lakh. Yes, sir. What is my total loan amount? 90 lakh. Okay, ji. I have 3 loans. But for building construction, how much do I need? 50 lakh. Fine. Now we have multiple loans which are used for multiple purpose. Right? This only we call it as what? General borrowing. Here one issue will arise. What is that issue? Sir, this 50 lakh building construction funds, this 50 lakh money came from which loan? Came from which loan? Are you able to identify? It could have come from this, or this, or this, or maybe all the 3, or maybe 2 out of 3 possible. Yes, no. So are you able to identify this purpose? No. Why is this important? Sir, every loan carries same interest rate or different rate? Sir, suppose money came out of 50 lakh. If 40 lakh comes from this loan, then the interest rate is what? 12%. If it comes from this loan, the rate is 10. If it comes from this, the rate is 11. Sir, based on rate only, you will calculate interest. No? Based on loan only, you will calculate interest. But you don't know from the money came from which loan. I mean, how will you find out the exact interest amount? Possible? If you don't know the interest amount, then how will you capitalize? There was a problem over here. And usually big companies, they don't take one loan. They will take many loans. So this issue is common for many business. Yes or no? Correct? So hence what the standard says is, you don't worry. You don't break your head in trying to identify this 50 lakh came from this. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry the money came from which loan. What standard says is, instead of worrying about the interest rate, you find something called capitalization rate. Whenever you have general borrowing, you will find something called what, sir? Capitalization rate. Capitalization rate is simply nothing but your average rate. Find out the average rate and use that for what purpose? Capitalization of borrowing cost purpose. This is only for capitalization of borrowing cost purpose. So no mapping is necessary, no identification is necessary. You will find something called what, sir? Capitalization rate and utilize it. How this works, I'll take you through one problem for that. But conceptually, are we clear with this? Okay. Need a minute to process or carry on? Okay. Sir, when will you start the capitalization? When will you start the capitalization? Because what happens is, sometimes the loan you will take today, but construction will happen maybe after 2 months, after 3 months, like this. Do you think construction date and loan date will sync? It will match, or it may mismatch also? It may mismatch also. So hence AS 16 has a provision called what, sir? Commencement of capitalization. When will you start capitalizing borrowing cost? Sir, you will start capitalizing borrowing cost when 3 conditions are satisfied. When all the three conditions are satisfied. They are: one, borrowing cost should be incurred. Second one, expenditure on qualifying asset is being incurred. Third one, activities relating to qualifying asset have begun. The day all these three conditions are satisfied, that day you will start the capitalization. Okay, look at the first condition. What is the first condition? Borrowing cost is being incurred. Look at this example. Sir, you have taken a loan. Okay, maybe just I'll come back to the conditions a little later. First, let's maybe look at this example. Sir, when did you take the loan? 1st April 2028. Now I'm constructing a building and I have taken the help of an architect. I'm taking the help of an architect or an engineer. Sir, architect asked for an advance. He said, I will start the work only after you give me advance. I gave that advance when? 1st May. Okay, Ji. Now, after the advance is received, architect started planning activities on 1st June. You can't straight away start the construction. No, you should make a plan out of it. So, the design, plan and all, when architect started? 1st June. But physical construction started on 1st July. 1st July, like this is the data I have given. Is it okay with you now? Loan, when did you take? 1st April. But physical construction started on 1st July. Now, these two dates are syncing, matching or mismatch? Mismatch, yes sir. So, that is where AS 16 is trying to give a guidance. On which day you should start a capitalization. That you all have to go back to condition. What is the condition number 1? Borrowing cost is being incurred. When did borrowing cost start? Borrowing cost starts when you take the loan. When did the loan take? Loan starts on 1st April. That means condition number 1 is satisfied on which day? Condition number 1 is getting satisfied on 1st April. Done now. What is condition number 2? What is condition number 2? Expenditure on qualifying asset have started. Expenditure relating to qualifying asset have started. When did the expenditure on qualifying asset start? Expenditure starts when you give money to architect. When did you give the money? When did you give the money to architect? 1st May. That means condition number 2 is satisfied on 1st May. Agreed? Yes, sir. Okay. So that means, can I say on 1st May, condition number 1 and condition number 2 both are satisfied? Because condition 1 came on 1st April only. So on 1st May, condition 1 and condition 2 both are satisfied. Agreed, agreed, agreed. Third one is what? Activities on qualifying assets have started. Sir, activities does not mean physical construction. Even planning activities, administrative activities are also considered as activities. Because straight away you can't start the construction. You will have to do some plans. Even those planning activities, if you are spending some time to get some approval from government, all that approval activities are also considered as activities. So that means you will take activities as 1st June or 1st July. Even planning activities are considered as activities. That means on 1st June, what happened? Condition number 3 got satisfied. Condition 1 is already satisfied. Condition 2 is already satisfied. 3 came on which day? 1st June. That means all the 3 conditions got satisfied on which day? 1st June. That means only from 1st June onwards, you will start capitalization. Okay, in this example. What about April and May? April and May ka interest, was condition satisfied? No. So April and May ka interest, though you have paid that interest, that will go where? April, May ka interest will be transferred off to P&L. It will not be capitalized. That's it about the commencement provision. Next provision. Okay, next. Sir, suspension of capitalization. To suspend means permanently cancel or temporarily stop? Time being you stop. Yes or no? That only we call it a suspension. Okay, sir, will you suspend the capitalization? Yes, you will suspend the borrowing cost for capitalization when the active development on qualifying asset, if it has got interrupted. When the active development on qualifying asset, if it has got interrupted. Like let's say I am constructing a building, laborers went on strike. Some salary issue or some issue came and laborers went on strike, full dangal mode. Okay, 3 months they did not come at all. 3 months they did not come. That means construction activity is going on or halted. It stopped. It stopped. Yes or no? All right. That means what, sir? That 3 months ka, can you tell banker? Can you tell bank people? No, 3 months worker is on dangal mode. I will not pay interest. No, bank will say what? That is your headache. Give me my interest. So borrowing cost you still have to pay. That 3 months ka labor strike period borrowing cost, will you capitalize or transfer to P&L? You will transfer to P&L. If you are suspending the borrowing cost, means that suspended period ka interest cost goes to P&L account. Okay, Ji? Understood, Ji? Okay. Sir, once again, excuse me. Sir, when you're doing a construction, temporarily small haltings here and there will happen. Like Sundays, will anybody work? Will Sundays any worker work? No. That means every Sunday ka interest cost you will transfer to P&L, or that is normal. So if there is a temporary delay and all, don't suspend. If there is a temporary delay and all, don't suspend. Like let's say due to Deepavali, Christmas, Pongal, 3 days workers did not come. 3 days workers did not come. So that means 3 days ka interest cost you will transfer it to P&L or still capitalize? Still capitalize. Why? Because is it a permanent delay or a temporary delay? So if there is a temporary delay, ignore. If the delay is normal for that activity, then ignore. If it is out of the blue, something which is rare, then only you suspend. Sir, how do we know whether it is rare or temporary? Some easy fixes. Sir, if the work has got stopped due to labor strike, fund shortage, due to fire, flood, earthquake, all this, natural calamities, then suspend. Then suspend. Suspend means what? Suspend means what? Transfer that period ka borrowing cost to P&L. Okay? But if they say, if they use the word, the delay is temporary, then will you stop the capitalization or continue the capitalization? Continue the capitalization. Okay, sir. This you can check in the examination question and accordingly decode. Yes, sir, everybody. Now, you had some doubt? No, sorted? So, commencement over, suspension over. Next is what? Cessation. Sir, cessation means what? Putting to an end, coming to an end. When will you stop the final capitalization? Because there is a possibility, like let's say, sir, building, no, you're constructing a building, construction time is how much? 2 years. But loan, you have taken a loan to construct this building, loan period is 5 years. You have taken a loan for how many years? 5 years. But building construction time is only 2. Now the question will arise, will you capitalize borrowing cost for 5 years or only 2 years? 2 years interest cost will you capitalize or 5 years interest cost will you capitalize? That was the concept. Understood? Not only we are learning it as what, sir? Cessation. It's very simple. What did AS10 say about DAC? AS10 talked about DAC. What did it say? DAC means what? Those costs incurred to make the asset management ready to use. Yes, no? Once the asset is ready to use, capitalization continues or stops? Stops. Same here also. So borrowing cost capitalization continues till the time qualifying asset is ready to use. Once qualifying asset is ready to use, capitalization stops. Like in my example, when is the building ready to use? 2 years. That means out of this 5 years interest cost, 2 years you will capitalize. 3 years ka interest cost you will transfer to P&L. Why 2 and 3? Because building as a qualifying asset is ready by how many years? 2 years. Once the qualifying asset is ready to use, capitalization should stop. Beyond that, whatever interest you are paying will be transferred to where? P&L account. Disclosure not very important. That's it, sir. This is a concept about this particular standard. Can we get to some questions regarding this? Okay. Maybe I'll do this. Okay. I think this is an RTP question. Similar question is available in our study material also. Okay, let's go over this question. H Limited began construction of a new building. They not purchased a building. If you purchase a building, it is already mostly ready to use. Here we are not purchasing. It is, it is being constructed. So looks like what? Qualifying asset looks like so far. When did you begin the construction? 1st April. It obtained a specific loan. It obtained a specific. Specific loan means a general borrowing or a specific borrowing. It obtained a special loan of 6 lakh on 1st April. That means for this building construction only you have taken a 6 lakh loan. Are you able to identify the purpose of utilization of this loan? Yes. So it is what kind of a loan? Specific borrowing. How much amount? 6 lakh. On what day? 1st April. Is there any capitalization rate drama for specific borrowing or straightforward? Straightforward, correct? No. All right. And how much interest are you paying? 12%. Take your calculator. 6 lakh loan on 1st April. So condition should be satisfied. No, satisfied. No, you took the loan on what day? You took the loan on what day? 1st April. Borrowing cost started on what day? 1st April. Expenditure on qualifying asset also have started on what day? 1st April. The activities also, if they don't tell anything, we'll assume it's got started on 1st April only. So that means all the conditions are satisfied on what day? 1st April. So you will commence borrowing cost capitalization from 1st April only. Yes, sir. So how much interest cost will you capitalize? 6 lakh at 12%. How much? 72,000. But one thing you should not forget. What is that? Relating to specific borrowing, if there is any temporary investment income. They'll not give it here. Somewhere in the end they will give. Usually ICI does that. But do not forget that. But so far we have identified what? 6 lakh at 12% is the borrowing cost to be capitalized relating to what? Specific borrowing. If there is any temporary investment income, you will add or minus that. Minus that. We will see that later on. Okay, Naji? Done. Okay, moving along. The company's other outstanding to non-specific loan. To non-specific. Non-specific means you are able to identify the purpose or not able to. So what is that? General borrowing. How many we have general borrowing? 1 or 2? 2. Okay. 2 loan amount. 30 lakh and 54 lakh. Both ka interest rate same or different? Different. Now, expenditure incurred on the building project as per the details given as follows. So they have given this. Okay. Excuse me. They've given you all this. If you add up all this, how much are you getting? Adding all the expenditure? 61 lakh, 21,000. So the building was completed by 31st March. Okay, Naji. Now, the moment general borrowing comes into picture, what we have to do? Find out capitalization rate. What did I say? Capitalization rate simply means average rate. But it is not simple average. It is weighted average. It is not simple average. It is weighted average. Because if you take a loan for 10 months, will you pay the interest for whole year or only 10 months? Only 10 months. Hence, it is not simple average, but rather weighted average. Okay, first let's find out. Take your calculator. First, can you tell me how much is the interest amount on first loan? Only on general borrowing. 30 lakh is the loan, 14% is the rate. And both the loans are on 1st April they have given. So interest will be for how many months? 12 months. How much? 30 lakh into 14% will give you 4 lakh. 4 lakh 20,000. 54 lakh ka 16%. 8 lakh. Okay. How much is the total interest? 12 lakh. 84,000. How much is the total loan amount? 84 lakh. Correct now? 84 lakh. Yes. How does this capitalization rate works? Is very simple. On an average, you are paying 12 lakh 84,000 interest on how much loan amount? 84 lakh. 12 lakh 84 is a total interest, no? So this is the total interest you are paying on a total general borrowing of how much? 84 lakh. That means what is the average interest rate you are paying? 12 lakh 84,000 is the interest you are paying on 84 lakh worth of loan. If you are confused about that, sir, how do you calculate the loan ka interest? How do you calculate interest amount? You will take the loan amount and multiply by the rate. Correct? You will take the loan amount and multiply by the rate. Sir, if I give you the interest amount, if I give you the loan amount, can't you find out rate? How do you get rate? Interest amount divided by loan amount. Check what have I done here. What is this 1284? Interest amount. What is this 84 lakh? Loan. Interest amount divided by loan amount. If you do, you will get the interest rate average. How much is this? 15.29%. That is your capitalization rate. Understood, everybody? Fine. What is the formula? Interest amount divided by loan amount. But don't call it as interest amount. Call it as time weighted borrowing. Instead of interest, we call it as borrowing cost. Time weighted borrowing cost divided by time weighted borrowing. Because if you take a loan for 10 months, you'll only calculate the interest for 10 months. That's how you are assigning the weights. Hence, instead of saying interest borrowing cost divided by borrowing, we will say time weighted borrowing cost divided by time weighted borrowing. This is not much tested at inter level, but it has a significance in final level. That's the reason I modified the formula. If you check ICA formula, they will simply write interest amount divided by loan amount. But for our final clarity purpose, next level clarity purpose, we will make this as formula so that from now only we are aware of, because concept is same. Ind AS 16, AS 16 ka Ind AS 23 borrowing cost same. This will continue same. Okay, Ji, everybody. That's the reason I check. I've calculated like this. How did you calculate? 30 lakh is the loan amount. How much is the interest rate? 14%. But purposely I've written 12 by 12. Why 12 by 12? Yeah, because on this loan you are calculating the interest for 12 months. Suppose if you had taken this loan only for 10 months, what I would have written? 10 by 12. Such adjustments are not tested so far in interlevel. In your interlevel, mostly the period will be whole year. Okay. So this is second loan ka interest. Fine, Aji. Similarly. Sir, if numerator, if you are assigning weights, if you are assigning weights, denominator also you should assign weights. If you have taken a loan for 10 months, that means you will take 30 lakh into what by 12? 10 by 12. Understood? So the weight has to be assigned in the numerator as well as denominator. But such adjustment are not tested, so you don't have to worry too much about it. But if you know, much better is what I feel. Done, Aji? So how much did we get? 15.29. So the whole drama of this is straightforward or based on weights? This is straightforward calculation or we'll assign weights? We'll assign the weights. Correct, Aji? Pakka na Ji? Okay, now come back, Ji. Sir, when did you start utilizing that amount? 12 lakh rupees you utilized on what? 1st May. So the year is starting on what day, sir? 1st April. So sir, if capitalization rate is based on weight, straight away you can't take this expenditure. This also should be weighted. Everything should be weighted in terms of what? Time. We are assigning the weights in days or in months. Sir, you check now. The year begins on 1st April 2022, goes up till 31st March 2023. When did you incur this expenditure? 1st May. That means how much weight will you assign for this 12 lakh? 12 months or 11 months? So for all the expenditure, you will have to assign the weights. Agreed? That we are giving the heading as time weighted expenditure or weighted average expenditure, whatever you want to give it. Done, Aji? Okay, take your calculator. Tell me how much weight. Calculate this for me. What you will do? 12 lakh into 11 by 12. How much? 11 lakhs. Okay. 15 lakh into from 1st July till the construction period. How much is that? 31st March. July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. How many months? 9 months. Okay, 11 by 12. From October till the construction period. From October 2022 to 31st March. October, November, December, January, February, March. How much? 6 by 12. From 1st March to 31st March. How much? 1 by 12. This you'll have to ask. Whole drama is around the weights over here. Agreed, Aji? When you calculate that, this is a number. I think your calculator is showing the same numbers here. Correct? So when you sum it up, you will get the time weighted expenditure. How much? 36 lakh 35,000. 36 lakh 35,000. Any problem? Okay. Now borrowing cost ka capitalization. Any drama around specific borrowing or straightforward? Straightforward. And that in fact we have already done. Is there any temporary investment income or not there? If it was there, what you would have done? Reduced. So borrowing cost to be capitalized relating to specific borrowing is how much? 72,000. Easy. Yes. I mean the only thing now we have to calculate is what? How much is the borrowing cost relating to the general borrowing we need to capitalize? Okay. How much money totally have spent? Total money spent or time weighted expenditure spent? Time weighted. How much is the time weighted expenditure? 36 lakh 35,000. Correct, Aji? Sir, entire money came from general borrowing or there is specific borrowing also? Specific borrowing also. How much is specific borrowing? 6 lakh. That means what? Out of this 36 lakh 35,000. Out of this 36 lakh 35,000. 6 lakh is from what? 6 lakh is from what? Specific borrowing. So how much came from general borrowing? 30 lakh 35,000. Yes, sir. 30 lakh 35,000 has come from general borrowing. And for general borrowing, we use actual rate or capitalization rate. What is that capitalization rate you found? 15.29. So take that 30 lakh 35,000 and multiply by the capitalization rate. 4 lakh 64,050. If you want it as formula, it is simply what, sir? Time weighted expenditure. But minus what you do? Specific borrowing multiplied by CR. CR is what? Capitalization rate. That if you do, you will get what, sir? The borrowing cost relating to the general borrowing which you need to capitalize. From general borrowing, this much you will capitalize. From specific borrowing, that much will you capitalize. So totally how much? Adding these two, you will get 5,36,052. That is a total borrowing which should get capitalized to the cost of building. That's all. Done, Ajay. This is an important question, has come a few times. This type, I mean. Need any processing time or carry on? Move on to the next question. Move on. Okay. This is also quite popular. This type, I mean, it has come quite a few times again. So let's run through this question. Easy only, but quite a popular from this topic. On 1st April 2011, Amazing Construction Limited, they have obtained a loan of 32 crores to be utilized as follows. Sir, you have taken one loan. How much amount? 32 crores. It has got utilized for multiple purposes. General borrowing or specific borrowing? General borrowing or specific borrowing? Sir, specific borrowing, does it mean one loan, one purpose? No. One loan can be used for any number of purposes. As long as you are able to identify the purpose, it is what? Specific borrowing. If you are not able to identify, general borrowing. So you have taken a loan of 32 crore. Of this 32 crore to construct a sea bridge, how much you spent? 25 crore. Out of 32 crore for the sea bridge you spent 25 crore. For some equipment you spent 3 crore. For some working capital purpose you spent 2 crore. For a vehicle purchase you spent 50 lakh. For some tools and cranes you spent 50 lakh. For technical know-how is basically a patent or software, some intangible asset. How much is that? 1 crore. Add all this from here to here, you add, how much are you going to get? From 25 till 1 crore, if you add 28, 30, 31, 32 crore, that is nothing but your loan. So one loan used for 6 purposes. What kind of a loan is this? Still a specific borrowing. As long as you are able to identify the purpose, it is a specific borrowing. Easy G. How much interest totally you have paid? 80 lakh rupees. Now people, the whole funda of AS16 is what? Borrowing cost relating to qualifying asset you can capitalize. But borrowing cost related to others will be transferred to P&L. Now in this 6 purpose, we need to identify which are qualifying asset, which are not a qualifying asset. Now let's read it a little further. You are constructing a sea link or a sea bridge across 2 cities. Fine. Sir, when you're constructing a sea bridge and all, use your common sense. Sometimes they don't give the period. Can you construct that sea bridge and all within 1 or 2 months, or it will take some time? It will take some time. So what is your common sense telling? Qualifying asset or not a qualifying asset? The sea link will become what, sir? Qualifying asset. But read the words in bracket. Work is held up. Held up means work is stopped. Totally for how much? For a month. For 1 month, the sea bridge ka construction is stopped due to high water levels. Sir, when you're constructing a bridge over an ocean, during maybe rainy season or some season, water levels will go up and down. Do you think we will not be aware of this, or this is expected delay? This is expected delay. This is totally, completely out of the blue wala delay or expected delay? I mean, this is a permanent delay now or looks like temporary delay now? Temporary delay, because we knew this. When we started the construction, we knew that whenever water levels are high, water current flow and all is high, we'll have to stop the construction. This is normal for these kinds of construction. So for this 1 month ka borrowing cost, will you suspend or continue the capitalization? Continue, because this is normal for these kinds of activity. So this is what sort of a delay? Temporary delay. So one thing we identified, that the sea link is what? What asset? Qualifying asset. What about equipment and machinery? They have not given any information, but they have told it is purchase. Sir, when you purchase an equipment, when you purchase a machinery, will it take a lot of time? Or is it immediately ready? Immediately ready. So common sense is saying what? Qualifying asset or not a qualifying asset? Working capital. So working capital is for day-to-day expenses. Where is the asset there? If there is no asset, then capitalization can be done or you cannot. So working capital purpose is not a qualifying asset. What about purchase of a vehicle? Vehicle, when you purchase a car or a scooter, will it take substantial period of time to get ready or immediately ready? So what is the common sense saying? Qualifying or not a qualifying? Not a qualifying. Advance for tools or cranes. This, they should have given more information because you have given an advance. Maybe the tool is getting constructed or you're purchasing it. It depends. So suppose you have given an advance for crane. That vendor will take the advance and then make that crane. He will make that crane. Making the crane can take more than 1 year also. In that case, it will become what? Qualifying asset. Suppose the vendor is saying, you give me advance, I'll immediately give you crane. I'll immediately give you crane. In that case, crane is taking substantial period of time or already ready? Already ready. In that case, it will not be a qualifying asset. So we actually need more information for it. But ICA is taking all this to be not a qualifying asset. But if you want to write a note and assume it to be qualifying asset also, in my opinion, it is correct. Whether you will get marks or not is debatable. Because the person who is correcting the paper is not an accounts teacher. They are qualified CS. Now, do you remember what you studied in first standard? Yeah, ABC. Okay. Oh, Pythagoras theorem chappandi. Sin theta, cos theta formula chappandi. What? Everyone remembers or no? Someone is saying what is sin theta? Right? Correct? No. Sir, when you yourself can't remember what you studied 1 or 2 years back, right? How do you expect a chartered accountant who qualified 10 years, 15 years before to remember all this? Because the person correcting your paper has to be minimum qualified for 5 years. They only are eligible to correct your papers. 5 years back, what you studied, you will remember. Then expecting them to remember it also is very harsh. What do you think they will do? Your answer, suggested answer. Your answer, suggested answer. Line by line, compare, marks. Not matching, 0. That's the way it goes. Okay, Naji. So let's not blame them. That's the reason we say as much as possible, try to remember ICI ka assumptions and write the same. This is a default. We can't do anything with this. It's just human thing. So you'll have to consider this as a human error and move forward. Okay. Part and parcel, of course. That's the reason now ICI has not kept passing marks as 100 on 100. They've kept 40. They only kept 40. So little human error you should also accept. In that to 30 is everything swaha only. MCQ. Full tukka you can modify. Full by fluke also if you tick. Answer may be right also, no? So 30 marks is in your pocket. For that you are not complaining. For this, then why are you complaining? And when it is favorable, you will be saying, balle. But when it is unfavorable, both you have to take it. No? So little bit here and there will be there in valuation. So don't go about all that stuff. Simply think about your preparations, your strategies and things like that. See, same thing was there when we also wrote exam. No? We also cleared. No? So you will also clear. It is okay. Everybody went through that same phase. So don't worry. It will work out. It will average it out. Now come back. So what are we taking advance for tools and cranes as now? Not a qualifying asset. What about technical know-how? Intangible asset. Sir, you are not developing. You are purchasing. It will take time or ready. So what is it? Not a qualifying asset. That means what, sir? From here to here, how much ever you have spent. You have utilized the loan only for all this. That borrowing cost you will capitalize or P&L? P&L. Which is the only qualifying asset borrowing cost you will capitalize? Ceiling. That means only 25 crore related amount you will capitalize. All this you will transfer where? P&L. Now you just have to proportionate. Sir, this 80 lakh is an interest cost for 25 crore loan or total loan? Total. So 80 lakh is basically the interest cost when a loan amount is 32 crore. How much is qualifying asset ka value? 25 crore. For 25 crore, how much will be the interest? Proportionate, you'll have to do. For 32 crore, if the interest is 80 lakh, for 25 crore, how much is the interest? Like that, you proportionate. When you cross multiply, these two you multiply, this one you divide. How much is it? 62 lakh 50,000 borrowing cost, what you will do? Capitalize. Rest everything you will transfer it to P&L. This is a P&L calculation. They have calculated for each component separately. You want me to show that or got it? Each one, proportionate. One by one, they are proportionated. Maybe if you want for one, I will show. Okay. Equipment and machinery. How much is the amount? 3 crore. 80 lakh for 32 crore loan amount. How much is the interest cost? 80 lakh. For equipment purpose, how much did you utilize? 3 crore. If 3 crore is the amount, means how much is the interest cost? Proportionate this. So X will be basically 3 crore into 80 lakh divided by 32 crore. How much is this, people? Give me in lakhs only. Instead of 3 crore, can I write 300 lakhs? How much is that? 7.5 lakhs. That's all. One I have shown. Like this, you'll have to proportionate individually for everything. Clear, 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 clear. Any doubt or all okay? All okay? That's it with respect to this standard. Thank you.